Hi Facebook, we're live with Mel Horowitz, the Dean of Central European University's Business School, and we're here with a bunch of students that are going to talk to you today. Mel, what's our first group have to say?
Okay, we have here Team 1 over here, and we've done a lot of work and preparation over this past week and a half, and we still have a week and a half more. We're learning a lot of stuff, right people? Right? Yeah! Okay, so we're going to start with this esteemed Team 1, and what is it that you prepared that you want to talk about now? What's the most important thing? You sort of mentioned diversity and the culture of New York.
Well, I think interesting to us because they have we are from Hungary and I'm originally from Japan, but our school is located in Hungary, and business culture is different, and for example the United States is having a very good big acceptance of failure, but in other words the people keep challenging, and we can feel that kind of culture in this New York City, and people are like very diversified as well here, and this is something that also interests me as well, and we are learning a lot of experience out of it.
What's your name?
Taka. My name is Taka. I'm from Japan, not Tokyo, but close to Osaka. Nice to meet you.
Thanks. I thought hangry was when you're like hungry and angry, but okay.
Sorry for my accent.
I'm just teasing.
You mentioned, the team mentioned diversity as being important, something you learned. You want to talk about that?
Yes, well,
Team leader.
yes, diversity is very important. Like for example, Central European University, where we are studying in, we have lots of nationalities. Our program A1 MBA, which I am in, we have 32 cohorts and we have 20 nationalities. And this gives me eye-opening experience. We can see lots of different cultures in the classroom without going out of the country. And this today the global world and the business environment, I think this experience gives us lots of confidence and the ability to work with lots of different people. And this gives us a strong competence in today's competitive business world.
I like your Hungarian accent. Very good. Here we have Team 2, another great group of people here. And from what I understand, you were talking about how entrepreneurship is different in Europe and the United States. What did you learn here that maybe in that area?
So what we observed.
What's your name?
Okay, so my name is Felix, and I'm from Germany. And we were very impressed by the city. We had the first week where we all talked about entrepreneurship, innovation, and just new approaches to business. And we were very impressed by how idea-driven the country is. So we have always the feeling that in Europe you have to have already something in your hands. You have to have like assets basically, and here it's more idea-driven. So we saw people who just had an idea, and then they have this great environment here, and they just can tap into pools of capital. They can get people who worked at companies like Uber or Lyft, programmers. So there's so much available here to really start great businesses. And we hope that we can learn something and transfer it sort of to Central Eastern Europe and also in parts to Western Europe.
Don't be shy, it's only a camera.
All right. Okay, here we have Team 3, an esteemed team, and you spent a lot of time thinking about the New York City ecosystem, right? Is someone going to tell us more what you learned and what surprised you?
Yeah, what we found about...
What's your name?
I'm Shivapriya from India, but studying in Budapest, and we found basically New York to be buzzing with a lot of energy. It was kind of infectious, and when we thought about the ecosystem, we realized that you have an idea, you get started and you go. It has scale, it has diversity, and that I think brings in the magic for New York. Mohammed will tell you more.
My name is Mohammed and I'm from Pakistan. So I think one of the most interesting things about New York is that it's the leading country it's a leader in culture and financial capital of the world. So it's a very diverse city too, and it's an early adopter city. So it sets the stage for adoption of new ideas and concepts and businesses all over the world. So I think it's very different from other places because it has a very global feel to it, and it's very big. All the ideas, either they go big or go broke. So it attracts a lot of a resource pool over here too. There's a lot of capital, a lot of human resources too coming to the city. So it's very interesting. it's a very vibrant city. So yeah.
That's great. Anybody else want to add anything here? Here we have a New Yorker, right?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Edward. I'm studying in New York University in New York City here. I'm joining these awesome people from Hungary, Central European Business School, and I'm honored to join Professor Horwitz class.
Thank you. You get a prize for that. And of course, last but not least here is Team 4, right? And you were talking about the differences between culture in Europe and the States. Any surprises? What did you learn? Can you please tell us?
My name is Joshua. I'm from India. And one of the key points that our group was discussing was how there's a significant difference in how Europeans and US Americans look at culture. So one of the key takeaways for us was how Americans are more focused on personal freedom and independence, whereas Europeans seek more state intervention, whereas Europeans don't want that. Europeans want more state intervention. And Americans, on the other hand, would also, a Business Insider report that we were looking at also stated that Americans believe that success isn't determined by forces out of their control, whereas Europeans, except for some Germans, believe that believe that success is somewhat outside their control. So that has certain implications for business to a large extent. And that's why also you see that there's more welfare economies in Europe than, well, whereas the US is a completely free democracy.
Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah, we do.
And tell me something. I mean, is this trip, you know, it's sort of at the end of your MBA experience in Budapest. Has it added something to your learning? Are you surprised, or is it something you could have read in books or case studies? How does this influence your thinking about professional management and being an entrepreneur coming here to New York?
I'm Zoltan from Hungary. You cannot read it in books. You have to, feel it here. So you have to be on the street. You have to go to companies. You have to see with your own eyes what is happening here. The openness, openness to diversity, to people accepting all kind of economical immigrants, looking past personal traits, focusing on business, focusing on different aspects of life. So you have to experience this in person.
So this is different than what you expected from an MBA in Europe or in Budapest?
Yes, very much so.
Anybody else want to comment about how this has affected their study or what they learned or their own career? Has this influenced you thinking about your own career? Can someone talk about that, please?
Yeah, so I think what's the big difference here is that people think really, really big. And it's sort of a cliche, but it's really true. You can observe it here, that if people have an idea, they want to make it big, and they don't think in a smaller scale. And I think that's something where we can learn from in Europe, but also where we have a lot of strengths in Europe, because also in Europe we have this great diversity, just not mixed in one country, but with different countries. So we can learn from this, how to scale a business quickly, how to go into other markets quickly, because there is a lot of potential here. And I mean, probably also because of a lot of people who watch are probably from the US, so I think it's also a great experience from people to US to maybe come to Europe, maybe do their MBA in Europe, and also get the other perspective, because it's also a great place, and there is also a lot to learn in business.
Good. How about any of the rest of you? Does this influence what you're thinking about doing in the future, coming here to New York? Can someone say something?
Well, Matt, okay, I would like to say about how, I wasn't considering entrepreneurship before I came here, but I think coming here has really changed my kind of perception, and I'm now more willing to consider it. I think it's both some of the sessions we had and the kind of people we met and the kind of people we have in New York, so it kind of makes you more open to taking risk. It has a very positive or optimistic approach to it, and I think that's also part of the reason why New York was once kind of written off, and people said everything is going to the San Francisco, and it's kind of revived itself, and it's now, I think it's growing faster than San Francisco in terms of entrepreneurship and venture capital. So that's the influence on me.
Great. Well, I just want to say that being here, but living in Budapest for over 5 years, makes me think that maybe we can bring back some of what we've learned here to other parts of the world. I mean, what we have in our own class, we have lots of talented people, very smart people, engaged people, and I think we owe it to bring it to the world so that they can kind of fulfill their own ideas of what they want, their own talents, and be really successful, and that brings hope to whole societies. There's no reason why it has to be concentrated all in New York, the United States. We ought to be able to tap this talent worldwide. And it's been great being with you all. And I want to turn around this camera and see Josh and thank Josh. Okay, can you reverse the camera?
I flipped it.
Okay. I want to thank Josh and NASDAQ for being our host and being so great. And let's give Josh a big round of applause. You can also go on the video production when he gets done with NASDAQ. Thank you, Josh. It's been great.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.